Welcome back to another episode of the Baker and the Banker podcast. I'm Jenny Keller of Jenny Cookies, and this is my mortgage guy, Dan.
We're going to have some fun today. This is going to be a first, and I'm stoked, but I'm also skeptical about today.
Why are you skeptical?
I don't feel like people are just going to want to listen to us talk.
So I've started listening to podcasts because I think we're Enneagram 3s. We're the achievers, right? If you're familiar with the Enneagram and what the 3 is, it's the personality type that loves to get things done and loves to feel like they're, I don't know, achieving something or, like having success.
Yeah.
And so with the podcast, you and I both probably overthink it and feel like we need to come to the table with like this amazing podcast with all these takeaways. And as I've listened to a bunch of different podcasts recently, a lot of people just talk. So you just listen to them and it's actually entertaining.
Well, we'll have good stuff to talk about. I know we will, but...
So I said, let's just try it. Let's talk about our week. Let's share what's coming up, what we, had going on last week.
Well, I told you
where it goes.
That we should title today's podcast a couple of different things.
Oh, okay. We have options.
Allergic to spring.
That's me. And probably everybody else, because everybody is having the worst allergies.
You don't like spring.
I really don't. I told Deanne on our walk the other day, I said, this is my least favorite time of year. And if you live in the Pacific Northwest, it could be your least favorite time of the year as well, because it's this weird weather situation, especially this year. We've had rain and gray and cold. And you know how you get Instagram memories pop up? I had a memory pop up from 2 years ago, the exact same date. We were in the Metro, which is our dessert truck, and we were at Chateau Ste. Michelle.
Okay, and it was 100.
And it was so hot. I could remember wearing like a Metro jumpsuit, and I was dying. I was like, do we have any t-shirts in the truck? Are there any clothes in my car that I can change into? Because inside the Metro is like 20 degrees hotter.
Yes.
And then this morning, I got dressed. I had a dentist appointment this morning, and I had my super puff coat on still.
It's 48 degrees.
It's still cold. So there's that, which, I don't love. I don't know. I just don't love spring. I saw this little chart about Seattle, and it talked about like Seattle weather, and it's like doom and gloom, snow, rain, then it's fake spring. And then when they get to June, they call it January, which is kind of like a mix of January and June. And then it's funny. I wish I had it up so I could say it correctly. But then like July, it's like the perfect weather. And then August is way too hot. And then we get like 4 weeks of magic in September. And then it's like winter again.
I feel like the past 2 or 3 years at least, we've had amazing Septembers and Octobers. So we've had summer all the way into the fall, like Halloween.
Oh my gosh. I told Dan, I don't like spring, but October is my jam. I love October. I wish October lasted long. I love it so much.
Yeah, why do you love October?
I love everything about October. I love the weather because I don't like to be hot. So usually we have that perfect weather. It's sunny. It's
the other reason why you love October cracks me up. You love October because of the fashion. You told me
oh
that
my gosh, I love the clothes.
Really?
Love. Like summer, my least favorite because I like to be covered up.
You
I
do?
do not like shorts or tank tops or like anything like revealing. Like I love when fall comes and you can start wearing like coats and sweaters and long sleeve shirts and jeans. And I just love it. I love fall fashion.
That's funny.
I love the colors of fall. They're all my favorite, like tans and, browns and oranges and that caramel color.
I feel like you're dressing for fall right now.
I dress for fall year round.
Okay.
They're my favorite. I just love neutrals. But yeah, spring, I mean, we can find things we love about spring.
Well, I think we just called today Allergic to Spring is the name of the episode today.
It was either that or I said we could call, when we get into May, I always call May 2nd December because it's literally the busiest month after December, especially I think if you're a mom. It's like that month where you've either got baseball starting or volleyball's ending. You've got fun runs and fundraisers and auctions and school projects that are going to be due and field trips. And I mean, May is just so busy. Mother's Day, Cinco de Mayo, you've got Memorial Day weekend. Like, it's just
so when you
so
say
busy.
that you really don't like spring, you really don't like March and April because they're like no man's land. It's just like nothing's going on.
Yeah.
The weather stinks. It's gloomy. It's dark early still. Okay.
It's just is like, nothing going on. I think we get out of December and then January is like Allie's birthday. And I love like that fresh January feel of a new year.
Yeah.
You know, where we're like working on our goals. Yeah. We've started our new, exercise plan or whatever it is. And then February is Valentine's Day, which I love. It's our anniversary. And February is really short. But it's just,
nothing in March and April.
No.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so here's the deal. We're not going to dwell on the allergy season. And
and allergies. I'm like so allergic to everything.
The negativity around the spring. Here's the silver lining. It's like the 24th of April. It's almost May, and it's almost Cinco de Mayo.
It's actually
what do you call it?
Metro de Mayo.
Or Mayo. I love it. Okay, so let's talk about that because I think that.
Do you know what Metro de Mayo is?
Yeah, I do.
So if you don't know this already, our little food truck is an International Harvester Metro truck. That's why we call it the Metro. I was telling this to somebody the other day. And on May 5th, we celebrate Metro de Mayo and we take the Metro out. And this year could top all of the years past because the flavors this year are off the charts.
Do you have a churro flavor on your menu?
Of course I do. We've got churro cake cups, churro smash cookies. But if you guys came out last year and had the lime smash, oh my gosh, it's so good. I was skeptical. I'll be honest.
What was the one you had the other night?
Strawberry margarita.
No, you had that was good. But
churro.
The churro one. What else did you have?
Lime.
Were those the three?
Those were the three that I was taking pictures of.
It was legit.
Oh my gosh, strawberry margarita to die for.
I don't think I had that one.
You missed out. So many cute treats. So we're going to be down in Edmonds if you're local, somewhere. I'm not sure where yet.
We don't know where, but we will.
We might just be cruising, downtown Main Street.
That's funny.
But no, I'm looking forward to that. We usually do something for May the 4th, like May the 4th be with you. But it's a busy week that week because we've got Metro de Mayo, and then happening that exact same day is Allie's prom.
Okay.
Which I don't love.
So then we need to hit
why on Friday night? I don't get it.
Let's hit a pause on all of that because you were just talking about cruddy weather and then you were talking about a memory that came up. I just looked at the weather forecast because May 1st is opening season for lingcod and halibut out in the Puget Sound.
You're excited to fish.
So I want to go fishing on the 1st, which is next Monday.
Oh, yeah, it's supposed to be huge.
It's supposed to be 80 degrees next week.
It's not going to be 80. I don't believe it.
I read a meme on social media the other day that Seattle is deciding to skip the 70s this year and go straight from the 60s.
70s are my favorite.
No, it's going straight to the 80s.
Nope.
So Cinco de Mayo is going to be a scorcher. I don't think so. That's what they're saying.
So this Friday says like 71 and I'm rejoicing. That sounds perfect because I've got a shoot with Kelly for Mother's Day, which is the other part of May that's huge. And December is always our busiest month at the bake shop, but for Christmas, Mother's Day is usually right behind Christmas. It's a huge one. Yeah. I love that. People love to celebrate moms.
Well, we love Mother's Day, and you and I were planning out a Mother's Day episode, which is going to be really good, kind of a tribute to both of our moms and all the amazing moms out there, and you, because you're a great mom.
Thanks, Dan.
But that'll be a fun episode. I think we're doing that one next. But in the meantime, you guys just get to listen to us talk to each other.
Oh, my gosh. Well, let me start and tell you about my day. I had to be at the dentist, and I don't know if you're like me. I think you're a lot braver, but I am so nervous at the dentist. I don't like anything. Let me just put it this way. They give me nitrous oxide to get my teeth cleaned.
For cleaning.
The lady said, "Do you want the nitrous?" And I'm like, "Of course I do." I don't like cleaning? It every time.
So you're high while you're getting your teeth cleaned?
I think so. Yeah. I mean,
crazy.
If you need a gentle dentist, we have the most amazing dentist in Mount Lake Terrace. His name is Dr. Red. He's calm. He's amazing. His team is calm. And they'll give you nitrous for when you... I do not like things in my mouth being poked and prodded at.
Dr. Red. He comes in and he is the perfect dentist because I think a lot of people have anxiety when they go see a dentist. And he'll come in nice and slow and walk up right next to you and he'll put his hand on you. Hey, Dan.
Yes, that's exactly how he talks.
How are you today? How's baseball?
I know.
How's mortgage? He's such a good guy.
And they always like remember the kids' names and what we're up to.
But I will tell you this. I've had horrible experiences at dentists in the past. Like I had a root canal when we lived in Marysville, and our insurance would only cover it if we went to this particular person. And she started drilling before the, whatever the Novocaine or whatever they put in there, the numbing stuff.
Yeah.
The shot, she put a shot in there and she started drilling and I jumped and she started yelling at me for moving.
No.
And I'm like, you just drilled the holy crap out of me. And then I found this out by Dr. Red that when you need to be numbed on your lower jaw, there's a block that numbs your whole entire lower jaw, and that's why your tongue gets beat up. When you get Novocaine on the lower part,
you bite your tongue.
Well, there's just a block. There's one big nerve that goes to your lower, but then I guess there's multiple. I don't know. Any of you dental hygienists or dentists listening to this will probably correct me, but I realized that she must not have got the right nerve or something. So, anyways, then I go to him back in 2016 when we moved to Edmonds. And I kind of told him that. And I have had probably 2 root canals with him, a couple of, fillings and stuff. And he is like so good. I've never, ever, ever felt any pain. Yeah, he's amazing. So,
and this is why you have to go to the dentist. I told Hudson this morning when he was asking, why do we have to go? Can't we just brush our teeth? And I'm like, no, you don't get new teeth. Like you have to take care of your teeth. And it sounds like you've had a lot of dental stuff.
Well, I think also no.
I think it's like I think
it's hereditary.
Yeah, hereditary.
Yeah, I think dental.
You have to take care of your teeth.
Yeah, I take really great care of my teeth. Always have. Had braces, but I remember growing up going, oh my gosh, I brush my teeth at night. I brush my teeth in the morning and floss, and would go as a kid. Yeah. And I'd have a cavity, and I'd have to get a filling, and then all the way through high school and everything. And so I think it's one of those things that is hereditary. But okay, so you went to the dentist today. Mine. Are you still high right now, or are you good?
No, like once the gas wears off, you're like back to life.
Okay.
The first time they gave it to me, I remember laying in the chair and I'm like, this should just be in the air, like for everybody, because I felt so happy and just calm.
That's why they call it laughing gas, right?
I didn't know, but now I will only go there, and I think you should always have that for any like procedure you need. But I just get nervous about anything like medical, dental. I tell Jesus all the time, like, this, my way to go is not cancer or anything painful, or I don't think I could do it. So I'm going to die in my sleep. It runs in my family. Do you know this, Dan?
I did not know
my great grandma, Margaret Emily Cleaver, she told my grandma when she died, she sat down on her bed and she said, I'm going to go now. And she just laid down and went to sleep.
No
joke. And I swear, I think that's how my grandma's going to go. She's getting old, and I think she's going to die in her sleep. And I think that's how my mom's going to go, and then me, because we can't handle pain.
Okay. Well, I think your mom can handle pain. Your mom's tough.
My mom's really tough, but she doesn't like anything that hurts. That's how I am too. Like I'm tough, like mentally tough, but like physically, my body is allergic to everything.
I think your mom's mentally tough.
She is, but we don't like pain. So when I like see people in pain, I don't like it. I don't like sick people. I don't like to go to the doctor.
You don't like sick. You don't like seeing people sick. You don't not like sick people.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't. But I also don't like to be around sick people.
I know. And I can tell you firsthand, I've gotten sick before. We were laughing about this the other day. So I was at a conference down in Dallas, Texas in 2016 with Jenny. And Jenny flew down there with me.
Let us tell you the worst
This
story.
is crazy. We go out to dinner the night before with a really good real estate agent friend of mine and I don't know if Shannon was there. His wife was there. We have a great dinner. And I never order seafood. Never. I just have never ordered seafood at a restaurant because I catch my own and I like fish and I like fresh fish only. Well, my steak, we were at a really nice steak restaurant in Dallas, Texas. And when you're in Texas, like you got to order a steak, right? But you don't order seafood in Texas is what I found out. So I end up ordering this really nice steak and it comes with king crab on top of it with some sauce. Okay. And I don't ever do that. So the fact that I did it was dumb. Anyhow, I go to the event the next morning and I'm stoked to be there, paid a bunch of money to be there, like $1,000 to be at this event. Okay. And I'm getting through it. We're sitting there and it's like an hour into this thing and I'm like kind of sweating and I'm like, this is crazy. And then about another half hour into it, I'm like, I'm kind of tingling right now. I don't feel good. Like my scalp is kind of tingling.
Oh my gosh.
And about another half hour or so into it, I'm like, this is not cool. I'm going back to my room. Well, we had to fly out later that night. It was so violent and so vicious. We get to the airport. I literally can't get off the shuttle.
It was so scary.
They called 911.
I didn't know what was wrong with you.
It was horrible. Alaska Airlines wouldn't let me fly.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, yeah, you
don't look good.
You're having food poisoning, and it's a turbulent flight, and we're not gonna let you get on the plane."
Nope. So, and I'm trying to like get rid of it, and I can't.
And I'm freaking out because you guys know my phobia, right? Does everybody know my phobia?
What's the name of it?
I can't say it correctly. It's like emetophobia or a metaphobia. I don't know, something, but it's fear of throw up. I hate it.
Throw up is her phobia. So long story short, Alaska won't let us fly. We have to stay the night. That was the most horrible bout of food poisoning. I spent the whole night, but get this, I spent the whole night sick, like literally clinging to life. Okay. We get a hotel room, and Jenny puts me in my own room and goes and buys a separate room.
I can't do it.
She wouldn't even stay with me.
I can't. I'm sorry.
She checked in on me every hour on the hour.
Love you so much, but just can't. I can't do it.
She couldn't do it. So
I was so tempted to go home because I don't know if you remember this.
You had a big event.
But I had to throw a baby shower for one of the girls on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
And so I had to scramble from Dallas and try to think of like, who do I know that has taken my cookie class that can make really beautiful cookies that can.
I'm stranded in Dallas with Dan.
Yes. And this girl, her name is Becky, and she makes beautiful cookies. Her Instagram is Becky Bakes. And I was like, Becky, I have a huge favor for you. Is there any way you can make all these cookies and deliver them? And she did, which is awesome. But yeah, I was stuck in my worst nightmare with you.
Yeah, that was horrible.
And so, yeah, I got my own hotel room.
You got your own hotel room.
Anyways, gross.
It was great. We ended up, but hey, since then, I've not ever ordered crab at a restaurant. Especially in
anybody
Texas.
that knows that story is like, Dan, what were you thinking? Like, you're landlocked. Like, there's no, fresh water anywhere close.
Yeah, there is. There's
I guess
fresh
you're not
water
landlocked, but like,
where? You're in the southern coast.
Well,
down there in Houston, but
it was all bad. It was
lesson learned. But a point is, you are an amazing wife, and you take really great care of me, just except for when I'm sick.
We already know this, that like, should you ever get something someday, like I love you and I will be there for you, but I'll find somebody to help take care of you.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know. If I really was like, okay, can I do this? I could do it because I'm mentally tough.
But when the kids get sick, growing up, when the kids are sick, Jenny's just like, all right, you got this.
I know. I'm sorry. It's just not my thing.
It's all good.
Well, you had a busy week. First of all, you had 3 Mariners games this week. You were like huge M's fan. We went Monday night, you went Wednesday, and we went Saturday.
The Milwaukee Brewers were in town, and I wanted to take a good friend for his birthday on Wednesday. So you and I went on Monday. I took Christian on Wednesday for his belated birthday to a matinee game, which I love matinee games, middle of the day. And then that night, Christian and I had a home buyer class.
How was that?
Full. It was amazing in Seattle. A lot of people they're ready to go. There's a pent up demand of people wanting to buy homes right now. There are just no homes for sale.
So there's no homes and then like, are they still super expensive?
Yeah. And rates are really high, and home values keep going up. And
but people still have to buy a house.
Nobody is wanting to sell their house right now because they're all stuck in like 84% of mortgages right now have an interest rate of 4% or less.
So they don't want to lose that.
They don't want to lose it. So you and I were thinking about doing the same thing. We're like, we have a 3.2 interest.
I know, kind of kills you.
Super low monthly payment. So Wednesday did a Mariner game and a homebuyer class. Thursday got to go be on a panel or listen to a panel in Bellevue. The top 5 real estate agents in Bellevue and Seattle were on a panel for the Washington Mortgage Bankers Association. And they say the same thing. It doesn't matter if it's luxury real estate or regular. There's just no inventory and there's buyer demand there. Homes are going up in value. So real estate market's strong. And then you and I we had a busy Saturday.
Yeah, we did.
So I'm the preferred lender for a really great local builder. They opened up a new plat of townhomes actually in Edmonds. So I drove the Metro for their grand opening.
Yep.
And then you threw it on your Instagram and you guys sold out in 2.5 hours.
I have the best
you have
customers.
The best customers.
I leave that like days like that, and I literally, it sounds cheesy, but like it fills my heart that like our customers will come to some random townhome open house.
Yeah.
Like literally back street.
Oh yeah.
Like, it wasn't like a main grocery store or like some location park or something. And yeah, you guys showed up big. Thank you so much. I love seeing everybody too. I always think it's fun.
Dolly.
Oh my gosh.
I got to meet Dolly.
This lady came at the very end.
Her name is Sam.
I had like 3 cake cups left when she showed up. I'm not kidding. And she had a dog that looked exactly like ours. I immediately grabbed the dog. I was like, oh my gosh, I need your dog with my hands out of the truck.
Dolly was 9 months old, and looks exactly like Goldie.
You did love that dog. And I was like, you were talking to somebody and I was trying to like get your attention because I knew you'd die when you saw the dog.
Well, I was talking to the owner of of Carrick with
which he quickly ended that conversation to come hold the dog. Dolly. And then he held the dog while I talked to people. But no, I love our customers. And I had this lady come who I've actually met at the bake shop. I was glad she reminded me. And you guys, if you're listening and you come to our stuff and we've met before, if you remind me of that, it always it's so helpful because we meet a lot of people. But she said, oh, I met you at Lake Stevens and our daughters play volleyball and da-da-da. Anyway, but she was talking about, I don't know why we got on this subject, but she's a kindergarten teacher. Okay. We were just talking about being moms and parents. And she was like, I always tell my, parents, like if your kid forgets their coat, do not run to the school and bring the coat. Like your kid is going to learn to bring their coat the next day. Like sometimes we just overparent, right? Like if your kid forgets their snack at school, let them forget. Don't drive a lunch to school or a snack to school because your kids will remember the next day. Like, Mom, don't forget to put my snack in the bag. Like she's like, kids are so resilient. And oftentimes, we are so careful around our kids that like they don't make mistakes and they don't do anything wrong. But like, isn't that how we learn? And I wish I could remember exactly all the things she said. But like in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to write all this down because it was so smart and wise. And she's like, that's what we're like made for. We're made to make mistakes and learn from them. Mm-hmm. And if as parents, we're constantly like hovering over our kids or like, don't do this or don't do that, how are they supposed to learn? Like we got in trouble as kids, right?
I did.
You didn't. I didn't get in trouble very often, but I always tried to be a good kid, but I just loved what she was saying. And then she said that about being a kindergarten teacher. I thought, wow, you have what lucky kids in your class that get you as a teacher. Because she just was really wise. So you just never know who you're going to meet at the Metro and what conversations you're going to have.
You always have such great people. It was fun. It was really fun getting to talk to real estate agents that were showing, their buyers. And then what we did is we gave, if you showed one of the townhomes, you got a coupon for a Jenny cookie. And there were a couple of realtors that came by that were like, oh my gosh, like this is insane. Like I want to use you guys for closing gifts. So it was really cool. But, and then that night,
oh my gosh, I busted home. I rode my Peloton because I knew we were going to the Diamond Club.
Yep.
And let's talk about the cake at the Diamond Club because I haven't stopped thinking about it since.
I cannot believe.
I know. Who am I?
You, the baker, were so smitten.
I don't know why, but the chocolate cake looked exceptionally good. So I had a piece.
Well, I told you, we got done eating, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go get a sundae.
Yeah, you did. I said, surprise me.
And you're like, bring me back something chocolatey. And I was like, the only thing they had chocolatey was
So here's what made it so good, though. I don't know if you guys remember when I went nuts and told you guys about the Susan cookie at Safeway, okay?
The fudge.
If there is a Safeway around you, go to their bakery department, look for the clear clamshell container, and they're called Susan cookies. And it's like this little thumbprint shortbread cookie, and it has a dollop of this chocolate, like almost ganache fudge icing on it. Good. Oh my gosh. Dan and I used to eat these I would eat like a whole box.
We'd eat a whole container at night.
Obsessed. When we were first married, when we first had kids, we'd go to this, Safeway in Marysville. Whoever was their baker there used to load on that chocolate fudge. It was the best part. Yeah. So good. Anyway, a couple of years ago when Heather and I were looking for a new baker at the bake shop, you had always said, just go to the grocery stores and see if anybody's looking for a new job. Tell them you're hiring if anybody wants extra hours. And so we went on the search for the next great baker. Some of my favorite memories were going to all the grocery stores, but in that little series we did on Instagram, we introduced everybody to the Susan cookie. And anyway, all that to say, the chocolate fudge on the Susan cookie was the icing on the chocolate cake. I had 2 pieces.
You did. You went back for seconds.
I had one with dinner, and then at the end of the game, 7th inning, I went back in and I made myself a helmet of ice cream and cake. It was so good. So I need to ride my Peloton
And then we
every
get
day,
home
maybe
and Jenny's
twice
like,
this
I just don't understand why I'm so bloated.
Could be too, because I did an allergy test once and they said I was allergic to chocolate, which I still don't believe.
And dairy, and you put ice cream on top of it.
I know. You? Yeah.
The girls at the dessert bar were like,
I sold everybody the idea.
Yeah,
I was like, you guys are doing it wrong. Like, go get some cake or some pie and then add the ice cream to it.
But it was a really good dinner. I tell you what, the Seattle Mariners, if you have an opportunity to go to Diamond Club, their Brussels sprouts are on point.
Oh my gosh,
and
I know. So
what'd
good.
you have? Beef Wellington.
Died over the beef Wellington.
You've never had it before.
No, I had it once with you in Las Vegas. In
And that
like
was
these
really
little,
good.
they were kind of like little beef Wellington bites or something.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't know what that is, it's like this really tender, soft beef steak, like a filet almost, and then it's wrapped and baked in a croissant.
Like pastry dough.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. And then there's like this sauce.
There's a sauce in it.
It's a sauce that's so good. The guy went to put it on my plate because they cut it up for you almost like a buffet style. And I'm like, oh, that's way too much. And then I took a bite and I like went back later and I was like,
I get more?
I was wrong. I did want more of that. It was so good. But a lot of people have messaged me lately about Diamond Club and said, how do you get tickets? I'm dying to go. And we have season tickets, but here's a little side note for you guys, or a little tip. You can get them on Game Time app. So if you get on the day of, I mean, you get a better deal than we paid for our season tickets.
Oh, yeah.
If you have the patience or I guess the flexibility in your schedule.
It's worth a date. It's worth a date to experience it. You're right behind home plate.
It's so fun. It's just
within the first like 6 to 8 rows. And then do not bring any money. Everything's catered. Alcohol,
but bring your
food,
appetite.
candy. Don't eat. So when Jenny and I go, we don't eat the whole day.
Yep.
And so no, it's a great experience. You will definitely experience the Seattle Mariners in a different perspective.
So I have to bring up a couple things that I've seen in the news recently, and I haven't put you on the spot yet, but I'm curious your thoughts because I have a hard opinion on it here. But is it the interest rates where like people with like good credit are getting a better interest rate? Explain this to me.
Yeah.
You're going to say it better than I have. I've sent it to Dan and I'm like, I think you need to do some.
So I made a video on it today.
Oh, you did? Okay, good. Because I'm like, you need to speak on this.
People are saying that it's the Biden administration. It's happening under
But explain what
the
it
Biden
is first.
administration. But it's basically the cost of mortgages is going up for. So here's what's making the news. And I'm not going to make it political because I don't think it should be political. It's just Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So Fannie Mae is governed by the U.S. government. It's backed by the U.S. government. So they decided, and even mortgage professionals are like totally confused that this is happening. But there's what's called loan level pricing adjustments. And basically it's your credit score and your down payment. There's a matrix, and based off of your credit score and down payment, there are adjustments or costs for the interest rate that you get from your bank. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they went and edited that matrix, and what makes zero sense is that someone with, for example, with a 760 credit score and 20% down, that matrix, the cost for that matrix just went up, whereas someone with a 680 credit score with 5% down, where that used to be like a 3% hit, went down, so now it's only a 1.5% hit, for example. So lesser qualified people now are getting a discount's not a word, but favor, if you will, versus someone that's very well qualified. So you can read between the lines. You can make it political if you want. Here's what I think the government is trying to do. I believe that they are trying to facilitate home ownership for lesser qualified people. I think that over the last couple of years, and I don't necessarily like this because I help people that have saved their butt off for 20% down or 10% down and have 760 credit score or higher and have done a great job preparing for home ownership. They're just not going to get any more assistance or any more love. Whereas people that have a lower credit score, that have lower down, it's going to make it more attractive or more available for them to get into home ownership, to buy a home. Interest rates are already really high. So I think maybe not having those hits for the lesser qualified is going to help those types of borrowers experience home ownership sooner.
It just feels...
It really doesn't make sense. It doesn't. So it's really hard to explain. And it's really hard to talk about this with other mortgage people and other people in general, like real estate agents that kind of understand it without it getting political, without having a socialism type
But is it like for sure?
It's for sure. May 1st. Yeah. Yeah. It's happening. It's already...
But it feels like it's
already been rolled out with most lending institutions.
It just feels really unfair. It's like the people that are studying so hard for a test and then they get graded on a curve.
Correct.
You know, like what?
Yeah.
I mean, life's not fair.
You can look at it both ways.
I want to look at it both ways.
So I would look at it both ways that, hey, so think of it this way, you guys, and I'll, because this is super boring. You probably don't want to listen to this more. Think about it this way.
Okay.
The rich pay more taxes than the upper class, than the upper middle class, right? Mm-hmm. It's just the price for, it's just the tax code in America, the government, the tax code, whatever. So the more money you make, the more taxes you pay, right? Mm-hmm. You're in a higher tax bracket. It's very similar now with mortgages. You got to look at it. Think of the housing market and the price for homes nowadays and the cost of interest rates.
True.
So, hey, you nice, well-qualified buyers, you're not going to get any breaks. You don't deserve any. That's basically what they're saying. Hey, you guys that need a little help because you don't have a good credit score and you don't have a bunch of money down, we're going to make it more attractive or more affordable for you to get in the game.
It just bothers me, though, because you have a bad credit score because you didn't pay your bills on time.
No, well, 680 doesn't mean you have a bad credit score. It means you just don't have a perfect credit score.
Got it.
It doesn't necessarily mean you have a bad.
So there's a certain number that they have to have at least 680?
No, 660, 680. I'm just saying the lower in the sixes, not a perfect credit score. They're getting a little bit more favor than someone with A+.
I wanted to know your thoughts on that because I try
to stay neutral because I don't just help perfect people and I don't just
there's no perfect people, but
perfect borrowers.
But I mean, I look at it like the person that's saved, and done everything to the best of their ability and have had good credit and paid their bills on time and not gotten into, things they haven't bought things they can't afford, stuff like that. And then they get the short end of the stick kind of.
Remember, they don't get the short end of the stick. They still get the good end of the stick because they've earned it. They have 20% down and they have that 760, 780 credit score.
But they're coming to the table with 1.5%, right?
They just don't get any additional discounts.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was my hot topic to ask you.
Stay tuned for a video from me.
Yeah, I want to see the video where you explain it. I don't know if anybody cares, but I was like, I bet people saw that.
Yeah, it's been in the news a lot, and it's depending on which news organization they're going to spin it the way they want to spin it.
Yeah. Okay.
I just try to stick to the facts when it comes to mortgages and stuff. So, but it is confusing. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's the world we live in.
Yeah, true. Well, next week, you said really great weather. You're going fishing.
Yeah,
on Monday.
Get to go out and go fishing.
Allie's got her prom. We've got Metro de Mayo on the 5th. On the 6th, if you haven't seen this already, guys, I'm coming in hot with a cookie party. We haven't had an in-person cookie class since 2019. Are you sold
out yet?
I'm not sold out.
Close.
I'm getting very close. Okay. I think people are checking their schedules. They're also, getting ready for 2nd December, May. Okay. And, I had a couple people at the Metro say I really want to go. I'm just waiting to see if, I want a friend to come with. And I told both of them that said this. They were actually there at the same time. You will meet a friend. I promise you. Come alone. Don't feel like you're not going to know anybody because you're going to know me. You're going to know Dan. My mom's going to be there. I have some of my talent coming from the bake shop, my cookie squad, because I can't physically, get around to every single person probably to show them how to decorate. So, but it's a hands-on class. I'm calling it a party because I think oftentimes when you put the word class on there, people will say oh, do you have to be really good at cookie decorating to be able to come? And it's no, just come. It's fun. I'm going to show you how to make my cookies, how to decorate them. And we have a really good menu of treats for everybody to snack on. Dan said he's making mimosas. So I actually ordered pomosas.
Little pineapple juice.
Pineapple mimosa. I ordered tons of sparkling wine from Chateau Ste. Michelle. It's all over my porch. In fact, I think my UPS man was like, what is all this?
That's funny.
Yeah. And then we're going to have some fun new merch launching that day too. So even more exciting things that I'm not going to give away now.
I love it. But
I do know everybody's going to walk away pretty darn happy after that event. And then Mother's Day, which is something we're shooting this Friday.
Yeah.
And our Mother's Day menu is out of this world.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really fun Mother's Day gift to come to the class. So if you don't know what you're getting your mom yet, take your mom, take your grandma, bring your aunt, bring your sister, bring your girlfriend.
That would be fun.
You know, go yourself as your Mother's Day gift. You know, you deserve it.
I might go by myself.
You're actually going to work.
I know.
So you have to be focused on.
Hey, I know how to decorate a cookie too. So.
Oh, you're going to be going around then to show people?
And I'm trying to get Sam to come, and she's going to bring Dolly.
Oh, yeah. We invited the dog. We invited the dog.
It'll be fun.
All right. Well,
all right. That's enough.
Okay. That's it.
I don't know. Did we do a good job? This is the first talk along.
I mean, I don't know. We talked about everything. We went to Hudson's game yesterday. First day of the season. Yeah. First game.
Yeah. It was freezing cold. I was reminded why baseball is losing momentum in the Pacific Northwest. It's windy. It's cold.
Boring.
It's boring. They're 14. Even though it's a select team, it's just bad baseball.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
I decided I'm not sitting next to Dan anymore.
No, that's why
because he immediately is just like, oh, you know.
That's why I got up and went down the right field line.
I know. But
I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm going to try to sit with you in the stands, but
he's like, I just don't like youth baseball. I just don't like youth baseball. But I mean, they're just kids.
They need to get better.
Oh my gosh. That's how they get better, by going out and practicing and playing.
You're right.
I was wrapped in my
full
parka, the one that goes down to your ankles, plus my Mariners blanket, the one that I'm the proud owner of from a few weeks ago. I had to buy one at the game.
Yep.
Hat, hood over the hat, Goldie on my lap. I forgot my mittens.
It was cold.
Could have used them. Oh my gosh, I was so cold. I would have done anything to take a bath after.
It's going to be 80 next week, though.
I don't know. So we got all kinds of good stuff. We have some really exciting personal news that we're going to share that we've been working on for a little bit. Next time. Pretty pumped about that.
That's kind of big news.
It's pretty big news.
Big news.
I don't know. I think that's it.
That's it.
Okay, guys. We're leaving here. We're going to go celebrate a friend who just graduated from the police academy.
Cameron Hansen.
And Dan's going to dine in his favorite meal. I just told Hudson on the way here, they're making a taco bar. And he's like, are you serious? Because all we eat is Mexican food.
That's my
I know, you love
language.
It. You love it.
The love language I'm in.
I know. Okay, so guys, that's our Monday update. We will be back next week with another episode of the Baker and the Banker podcast. I hope you guys have a great week. Grab your tickets to the cookie party.